Today we are going to see the topic Relations and Functions of grade 12. So our objective is to identify different types of relations and to examine the validity of that types of relations. So what is a relation? And why do we need to learn relations? A relation is an inevitable part in our daily life. You have a relation with the teacher and student, parents, child, and all way the relation is existing. In mathematically, if you can establish the relationship between any two quantities, that will help you to take a wise decision. For example, if you know how fast the charge of your device is drained out as per the usage, so you can control that. And similarly, how badly the usage of the devices affects your academics, you can make a note and you can do better to improve the academic performance. So relation is nothing but a connection between or among things. So as I said, there will be a relation between any two quantities possible. A number is greater than a number q, or a line is parallel or perpendicular to another line. So every relation has a pattern or property. So now we are going to see the fundamentals related with the topic relations. So what we have learned from the 11th standard, I'm quickly starting from the fundamentals. So if you know these two sets A and B, and the term Cartesian product or A cross B is a set of all ordered pairs from the elements of the first set to the second set. So 1, 11, 1, 12, 1, 13, etc. That will be the elements of the Cartesian product A cross B. So as there are 5 elements in set A and there are 6 elements in set B, as you know, there will be 30 elements in A cross B. So product of number of elements in A and number of elements in B. Now I have taken another example here, a specific arrow diagram using the same sets A and B. And if you notice here, I have marked as 1 to 11 and 2 to 12, etc. So if these elements, if I write in roster form, it looks like 111, 212, 313, 414 and 515. Clearly you can understand this will be a part of the entire Cartesian product A cross B, and that gives you the definition for a relation. Like a relation is nothing but a subset of the Cartesian product A cross B. So if you observe here, you can see that every first element and second element has a unique relationship is established. So if I consider the first elements or the elements in the first set as x and second set as y, I can easily say y is equal to x plus 10, and that satisfies for each ordered pair. So we will say a relation is a subset of the Cartesian product A cross B. So a relation from a non-empty set A to a non-empty set B is a subset of the Cartesian product A cross B. And these elements of the first set we form the domain. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will give you the domain, and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 give you the range. And then codomain will be what? The entire set to B. And you know that the range will be always a subset of the codomain. And here one more thing you need to remember. Whenever say this 1 and 11, we will say the image of 1. Image of 1 is 11. And the pre-image, if you are coming the backward direction, we will say pre-image of 11 is 1. So these are the terms to be remembered. And another thing we will say this here, it is 1 is related with 11. 1 is related with 11, or another way of writing is like 1, 11 belongs to R. Both are equally likely or both are the same, one and the same. So it depends upon the way you like, you can write it. So this is what we have seen from the last year. Now here in this year, we are just modifying, this is just the gist of whatever I have already explained. There is a Cartesian product and the set of our first element domain, and range, the number of relations from A to B is 2 raised to PQ. Okay, now we'll consider a relation on a particular set A. Rather than going for two different sets A and B, we are considering a single set A. So we'll say a relation R in a set A is subset of A cross A. So this is what I said just now. If AB belongs to R, then A is related to B under the relation R and we write it as A related to B or AB belongs to R. Now we are looking for different types of relation. So from here onwards our 12th standard topic starts. So let A be the set of all students of a boys school. Then the relation R in A given by A is sister of B. Now if you notice here, for every relation there are two things important. One is the relation defined on a particular set A on which the relation is defined, and the second part how the relationship is existing. So these are the two things you have to note down. So here it says a relation is defined on the set of boys of a school, and then the relationship is what? A is sister of B. So if you take any two boys of the school, so none of the boy will be a sister of the other boy. So it's clearly an empty relation. Now if I redefine another relationship on the same set A as like set of all students of a boys school, suppose the relationship is like this: A and B studying in the same school. So whichever elements you take or whoever you consider, all these boys will be in the same school. So we call it as a universal relation. So we have seen two types of relation. One is an empty relation. That means a relation is set A is called empty if no element of A is related to any element of A. That is R is equal to 5 and which is subset of A cross A. And a relation R in a set A is called a universal relation if each element of A is related to every element of A. That is R equal to A cross A. So these are the two terms, empty relation and universal relation. Now we'll go for little more further with different types of relation. Okay, now I'm considering two cases here for your understanding. See, one I have taken this is L as, in the first case I'm taking a set L, parallel lines in plane, and this is two like perpendicular lines in plane. So I'm considering one of the lines, say L1. Now can I say this L1 is parallel to itself? So a line will be always parallel to itself. Now suppose consider this line L1. Now can you say this L1 is perpendicular to itself? Clearly a line cannot be perpendicular to itself, so it is not. So if you get an element which is related to itself, it just like you stand in front of the mirror, you will be seeing your reflection. So such a relationship we call it as reflexive relation. So if an element A is related to A itself, we'll call it as a reflexive relation. This is one way of writing, or you can write A comma A belongs to R for every A in the given set A. So here we will say this we are getting L1 is parallel to L1. So L1 is related to L1. And here in the second case I am getting L1 is not perpendicular to L1, so it is not related. So that's the first type of relation, and that we call it as reflexive relation. Okay. Now we consider one more line from here, L1 and L2. So clearly this L1 and L2 are what? Parallel to each other, right? See, L1 is parallel to L2. Now can you say this L2 is parallel to L1 or not? So obviously if L1 is parallel to L2, L2 also will be what? Parallel to L1. Now if you take the second example in this case, say L1, and suppose I am taking this as L2. In this case again, L1 is perpendicular to L2. So what about L2 and L1? That gives L2 is perpendicular to L1. So in such cases or such relations we call it as symmetric. So in general we will say like this: if A is related to B and that gives you B also related to A, we call it as it is a symmetric relation. It's a symmetric relation. Or if you consider another example, if you say suppose 2 is a factor of 4, and can you say 4 is also a factor of 2? So 2 is a factor of 4, but 4 is not a factor of 2, so it is not true, it is not symmetric. Then third type of relation I am going to see is that same from there. Maybe the same line, I am taking one more line, maybe this is L3. So if you observe here, L1 is parallel to L2 and L2 is parallel to L3. Clearly L1 and L2 parallel and L2 and L3 are parallel. Now can I say L1 is parallel to L3? Obviously it is true, right? Now if you take L1 is perpendicular to L2 and say maybe L2 is perpendicular to this L3 line. Now can I say L1 is perpendicular to L3? Can we say L1 is perpendicular to L3? And if you observe here, is these lines are all on the plane, so it is not true. It is obviously L1 is coming to parallel to L3, so it is not true. So think about if the set of lines, if I take on the space, suppose I am considering the set L, in this case the second example is set of 4 lines in space. Now can we get if L1 is perpendicular to L2 and L2 is perpendicular to L3, then can I say L1 is perpendicular to L3? We can visualize that, and that will be clearly true. In such a case it will be true. Or this property we will say, if A is related to B and B is related to C, then we will say A is related to C. It's just like you are traveling from Dubai, okay, and your final destination is like maybe Mumbai, and you stop over at Oman. So from starting from Dubai and you stop over at Oman and traveling to Mumbai again. So here you will have a transit will happen. You are getting down at Oman and again you are getting into the flight for Mumbai. So this property we call it as a transitive property. So these are the 3 major ideas of this topic: reflexive relation, symmetric and transitive. So a relation R in A. See, again I repeat, the relation will be defined on a particular set, and that set has the most importance or the significance that you need to be very well taken care of. So a relation R in A is said to be reflexive if A is related to A for every element of A in A. This is the way of writing, and this another way of expressing. Both are equally the same. And symmetric if A related to B gives you B related to A for every AB in A, or if AB belongs to R, then BA belongs to R for every AB in A. And transitive if A related to B and B related to C, then A also related to C for every ABC in A. It's just like a stopover and transit from one place to the other place. Remember, Dubai, Oman, getting down, transit, and then to Mumbai again. So that is what is called transitive property. Reflection, that is what is reflexive. Symmetric, the left side and right side should be the same. That's what the second property means. If you connect with the words, you will never get confusion about what that means. Now we have a relation will be there. If it is satisfying all these conditions, we call it as an equivalence relation. So any relation which is reflexive, symmetric and transitive is called an equivalence relation. And this is what the one of the major idea of the first chapter. I will go for some examples. Okay, a relation like this way: A and B live in same locality. A and B live in same locality. So can we say this is reflexive? So what do you take that? If you take an element A, say person A. If you take the person A and he and himself, he will be in the same locality, so it is clearly reflexive. Now if you assume that A and B live in the same locality, clearly B and A also will be what? Live in the same locality. Now if you take A and B live in the same locality and B and C are also living in the same locality, clearly A and C are also what? Live in the same locality. Okay. Now consider another one as like A is taller than B by 5 centimeters. So can you say A is taller than A by 5 centimeters? Never possible, right? You cannot be taller than yourself by 5 centimeters. So it is not reflexive. Now if A is taller than B by 5 centimeters, that means suppose A is say 165 centimeters. So B will be what? 160 centimeters. Now can you say B is taller than A? Can you say B is taller than A? And we already know that B is 160 centimeter taller and A is what? We should get B as 5 centimeter taller than A. So A must be what? 155 only. But that's not possible because A is already 165. So this also not true. Now the other case, if you take A is taller than B, A and B are related and B and C are also related. Then what about A and C? So here you will get A is 5 centimeter taller than B and B is already 5 centimeter taller than C. So if this is 165, 160, 160 and 155 will come. So this will come 165 and 155. Clearly this is not 5 centimeter more than that. So it is not true. So this is what the basic idea of that relations: reflexive, symmetric, transitive, and if all are true, it is an equivalence relation. So what we do that one to remember this one to show that any particular relation or result is true, prove generally, and to disprove, provide a counterexample. Okay, we'll come to see more in detail. So we'll go for the first question. This is what the first question we are trying to solve on. Let T be the set of all triangles in a plane with R a relation in T given by R is equal to T1, T2 such that T1 is congruent to T2. Show that R is an equivalence relation. So the first thing when you get a question, what you need to observe that this particular relation is defined on which set. That means the set A is what. Then second thing, how the relationship is defined from one element to the other element. So that's what the first thing we need to note. R, the relationship I wrote, T1 is congruent to T2 on set of all triangles T. So the relationship is defined on set of all triangles T. So we'll go by one. First thing, reflexive. For reflexive, I will take first as this case. Let T1 belongs to T. That means I'm taking one of the triangles from the set of all triangles. Now what I need to check, whether this triangle is congruent to itself or not. Clearly, you can say a triangle will be congruent to itself. If one triangle is congruent to itself means every triangle will be congruent to itself. So for every T1 belongs to T. So T1 is congruent to T1 for every T1 in T. Therefore, what we can say, T1 is related to T1 for every T1 belongs to T. Therefore, R is reflexive. So that's a way of proving. Now we take the second element. So second case means we need to prove it as what? It is symmetric. So for symmetric, you need always, so these elements A and B are related. So we'll say, let we have two elements T1 and T2 from the set of all triangles. There are two triangles such that they are already related. T1 is related to T2. So T1 and T2 are already related. Now we will say how they are related. T1 is congruent to T2. Now if T1 is congruent to T2, can I say T2 also congruent to T1? Clearly, right? If you have two triangles, one triangle is congruent to other triangle means both will be the same size. So that will be congruent. So this you can say therefore T2 is related to T1 for every T1, T2 belongs to the set of all triangles. So R is symmetric. Okay. So that will be the second part. See, have you noticed that one? First I have taken one element. So for the reflexive, and I have taken two elements for the symmetry, and for the third part I will take three triangles from the given set of triangles. Say let T1, T2 and T3 belongs to set of all triangle. That means any three triangle such that. Now I need to get T1 is related to T2 and T2 is related to T3. Now I will explain how they are related. T1 is related to T2 means T1 is congruent to T2 and T2 is what? Congruent to T3. So that gives you what? T1 is congruent to T3 because T1 and T2 are of the same size and same shape, and T2 and T3 are also of the same size and same shape. So clearly T1 is congruent to T3. So that gives what? T1 related to T3 for every T1, T2, T3 in the given set T. So therefore R is what? A transitive relation. Now from these three conditions, from 1, 2 and 3, that relationship is an equivalence relation. So we have done. So this is generally a 4-mark question in the examinations. So you need to prove reflexive, symmetric and transitive. And here I have used one notation writing like T1 is related to T1 and T1 related to T2 like that. Now there is another way of explaining or writing the answer. So just see the next slide. I will give you that idea how to write. So the same question. So the solution. This another way of writing. See, the notation only change. Instead of writing T1 or T1, I wrote T1 comma T1 belongs to R for every T1 belongs to T. It's up to you. If you like this way, you can write that way also. So R is reflexive. Now same way we'll take, let T1 comma T2 belongs to R. That implies T1 is congruent to T2. So T2 is congruent to T1. So it is symmetric. Now taking two sets, T1 is related to T2 and T2 is related to T3. So T1 is congruent to T2 and T2 is congruent to T3. So T1 is congruent to T3. So R is transitive. Hence R is an equivalence relation. So the first way of writing will be much more comfortable to say like R1 related to R2 that way. But in your ordered pair, sometimes you may likely to get confusion. That is, I am not giving much importance to this way of writing. I prefer the first way of writing you to follow. Then it is easy for you. Okay. So now we'll try to get one more question. Similar way. Now this question is, let L be the set of all lines in XY plane and R be the relation in L defined as R is equal to L1, L2 such that L1 is parallel to L2. Now show that R is an equivalence relation. Here if you can see that there is one more additional part there. Find the set of all lines related to the line y equal to 2x plus 4. So that I will explain. So again, just like the previous one. So the relationship R is L1 comma L2 such that L1 is parallel to L2. And it is defined on L lines in the XY plane. Now, just like the other one, first thing we need to prove it is reflexive. This already you have seen. I taken in the first initial explanation that one. So you can say let L1 belongs to L, any line. Now clearly a line is parallel to itself. Therefore, what we can say, L1 is related to L1 for every L1 belongs to L. Therefore, R is reflexive. Now the second case. So in the second we will take, let L1 and L2 belongs to L such that, now you say how they are related. So such that L1 is related to L2. Now describe the relationship. L1 is parallel to L2. Now if L1 is parallel to L2, clearly L2 is also parallel to L1. So that means what we can say, L2 comma L1 belongs to R for every L1 and L2 in the given set L. So R is okay. Now we'll go for the third step. So third step means say let L1, L2 and L3 belongs to L such that L1 related to L2 and L2 related to L3. Now say here how they are related. L1 is related to L2. How? L1 is parallel to L2 and L2 is parallel to L3. Hope you remember this is L1 and this is L2 parallel and there is one more line L3 parallel. So that gives what? L1 is parallel to L3. So they are related to, for every L1, L2, L3 belongs to L. So therefore R is transitive. Now in final, from 1, 2 and 3, R is an equivalence relation. So that is what our final answer. So from 1, 2 and 3, R is an equivalence relation. So we have proved that one. Now have you seen there was one more part in the question? So there was a part like find the set of all lines related to the line y is equal to 2x plus 4. So you need to find set of all lines which are related to y is equal to 2x plus 4. So this means you have already a line y is equal to 2x plus 4 and you need to find, this is suppose this y is equal to 2x plus 4. Okay. Now you need to find all the lines which are parallel to that. And if all the lines are parallel to that, what will happen? The slope remain the same. So your answer will be y is equal to 2x plus a constant. The slope y is equal to mx plus c form. So 2 is the slope. So 2 remain the same and the constant could be any number. So that is what is the second part of the answer. So y is equal to 2x plus c. Okay. Let R be an equivalence relation on a set A. If A belongs to A, then the set of all elements X belongs to A such that X related to A is called the equivalence class of A and is denoted by A. Sometimes it will just say it is like a equivalence class, so you can use that idea. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. Equivalence class is the set of all elements related to the given element. So this we have already seen. This is another way of writing. If you like, you can use it. The same thing, the other way of writing. I'm showing this also in that way. It's up to you. If you want, you can use it and or you can avoid it. Okay, now see, we have another relation R in the set A such that X belongs to Z, 0 less than or equal X less than or equal 12, and R equal to AB such that A equal to B. This is also very easy one. Say the relationship is R equal to AB such that A equal to B and defined on A. So the first thing, let A is an element of capital A. Now what we can say clearly, this A will be equal to A for every A in the given set. So A is related to A, therefore R is reflexive. Okay. Now the second part, we need to prove it as symmetric. So symmetric, remember what we need to do? We have to say that what? Let A comma B belongs to A such that A is related to B. Now how they are related? A equal to B. If A is equal to B, clearly B is also equal to A. Therefore B is related to A for every AB in the given set A. Therefore R is symmetric. Now the third one. Now for the third one, we need to choose three elements, A, B and C. Yeah. Do anybody is having a doubt where the C comes? See, if you remember, this is a set builder form. When I say A comma B means there are so many elements related. This is just a representative element only. So don't confuse that from where this element, the third element C comes. So this A comma B represents all the elements which are related. Okay, it's not only two elements. So that is a normal or the usual confusion about that. So we'll say let A comma B comma C belongs to A such that A is related to B and B is related to C. So this gives you A equal to B, A equal to B and B equal to C. So that gives what? A equal to C. So therefore A is related to C for every A, B, C in A. So R is transitive relation. So from 1, 2 and 3 what? R is a equivalence relation. Okay. So reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Now again here we have that idea, find the set of all elements related to 1. Find the set of all elements related to 1. So this is what we call it as equivalence class. So I'm just writing here. So equivalence class of 1 means all the elements related to 1. So if you take A equal to 1, what is the value of B? If A equal to 1, what could be B? Only 1. So it is just 1. So that is our answer. We will write in set like this within the set form. Because the set question says set of all element. So the answer is equivalence class of 1 is equal to set 1. So that's the final answer.